Today, we will discover in this episode that Fallon asked Alice to join her looking for the Easter Bunny, the first clues on the village website, but Alice declines. When Alice asks, Fallon confirmed she knew about Chris and Amy sleeping together. Fallon's sorry, she was trying to protect Alice. Alice is emotional, feeling she doesn't deserve Fallon's friendship. She opens up about Chris and Amy's liaison. She can't get over Amy's betrayal. Fallon tells Alice about what happened between Kate and Alan after Sundance Church service. Natasha chats to Pat and Tony about rewilding. She questions its economic viability while Pat and Tony gently make their arguments in favor of the project. Tom has helped Tony with a Tamworth Pigs contact for the rewilding land. Later, on her return from a routine pregnancy scan, Natasha reveals to Pat that she has gestational diabetes. Natasha's confident she can manage it, and Tom's going to reduce his sugar intake in solidarity. Tony's dismayed when Pat suggests that they should do the same, starting today. Ahead of the Borchester Land board meeting to agree Barrow Farm's fate, Brian's nervous with Justin, wanting to get to the bottom of the lake about its possible closures. Afterwards, Brian's relieved that another board member is the prime suspect. Justin continues to threaten to seal his majority share in BLSO. To Brian's horror, Martin offers Justin the role of chair. Justin declines, but mysteriously says there is another local project he'd like to discuss with Martin. Meanwhile, Brian's tasked with communicating the latest decision on Barrow to the workforce. Thank you for listening, and I will leave you with the episode of The Archers.
This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
You're listening to Tuesday's episode of The Archers from BBC Radio 4.
When is it?
11:10. We thought we'd leave plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be rushed. Parking at the hospital is always a nightmare.
Exactly.
Must be nice that this one's a routine scan.
Rather than the emergency one I had. Yeah.
You excited?
What do you think?
Well, I am. So what it must be like for you.
I'm just pleased I got the business all moved into Sawyer's Farm before I get too enormous.
It's been a busy few weeks for you.
It has. I could have done without being so knackered all the time.
Yeah.
And running to the loo every 5 minutes.
Some more of the purple sprouting. There wasn't enough for the veg boxes, so we thought you could clear them here.
Fine.
I'll pop them next to the beetroot, shall I?
OK, I'll price them up in a minute.
Oh, Tom's just bringing the car round.
Great. How are you, Tony?
Oh, to be honest, I'm a bit sore after the cricket practice last night. But I have just had some good news. Looks like we've got a line on some Tamworths if we need them.
Oh, that's good.
One of Tom's contacts in Oxfordshire.
You're not getting back into pigs, are you?
Oh, no. This would just be a couple for the rewilding. Tom's been a great help.
He's really got on board with that, hasn't he?
Why shouldn't he?
Aren't most farmers very dubious about rewilding? I mean, is it viable economically?
There are lots of ways rewilding Ambridge will make money. Tourism?
The campsite had a very successful first season.
Thanks to COVID.
I think UK holidays are back for good now.
Maybe. Tourism's a risk, though.
And it's not just the camping. There'll be sales of meat from the Longhorns.
At a very low level.
Well, yes, but it's what the land will stand.
And their main source of income is a massive subsidy from the taxpayer.
For years, that was true of a lot of arable land in this country.
Personally, I think this is a much better use of public money.
I don't know. I still think farming should be about feeding people.
But not to the exclusion of everything else.
It's all about the right system in the right place.
Not trying to force land to produce food if you're destroying it in the process.
Oh, There's Tom. I'd better go.
Tell us how it goes, won't you?
You bet. I'll bring you back a picture.
I'm determined to get to the bottom of it.
Oh, surely we don't need a witch hunt, Justin.
Who said anything about a witch hunt? I just want to know who breached confidentiality.
Well, I think it could be very distracting.
Does it matter that much if we're going to close Barrow anyway?
No, hold on, Martin. Come on, let's not jump the gun.
Well, more likely than not, surely.
Well, not when the board have heard what I've got to say. I mean, several of our big competitors have already folded. And not just in the UK. I expect you're familiar with the African swine fever situation in Germany and Poland.
Oh, Pam and I talk of little else.
In China imposed an import ban, which resulted in an oversupply of pork in European markets, so prices crashed and lots of producers went bust. Whereas
we are still throwing money at Barrow.
Whereas, Justin, we've kept our nerve. Now we're poised to take advantage of what will soon be a shortage of pork.
Well, anyway, it's time to go in. You'll both have plenty of opportunity to put your points of view across.
All right, but I have to remind you, if the decision goes the wrong way...
You mean the rational way?
I may be forced to review my shareholding in Borchester Land.
Blimey. Alice?
Who's that?
Well, it's me. It's Fallon.
Oh, hold on. Just got to tighten this up.
You haven't broken down, have you?
Me or the car?
Well, I meant the car.
No, just giving it a routine service. Very overdue, I'm afraid.
You have had quite a lot of other things going on.
Tell me about it.
Is Martha with Chris?
Yep, so I'm keeping myself busy.
That's a shame. I was going to suggest we might go in search of the Easter Bunny.
Oh, no, not today. Fallon, can I ask you something?
Sure.
You knew, didn't you, about Chris and Amy?
Yeah.
That's why you were so funny with her before Martha's birthday party.
Didn't realise it was that obvious.
It took me a while to work it out.
I know I should have said something. I was only trying to protect you.
I know.
I was worried that it might start you drinking again.
I get it. Really.
You're not angry then?
With you? No, not at all.
I'm so relieved.
I mean, you must have been in an impossible situation.
It was horrible.
You've been a real friend to me. Even after how stupid I was with Harrison.
Oh, forget about that. I have.
I really don't deserve someone like you.
Oh, don't be silly. Of course you do.
Oh, no, careful. I don't want oil on your coat.
Never mind about that. Come here. You mean the world to me, you know. Alice?
Tom's had to press on with the veg boxes. He said he'll catch up with you later.
Of course, that's no problem. How did it go?
Well...
Natasha?
You mustn't worry.
What is it? Is there something wrong?
Please, Pat.
Was it the fall you had?
I've had enough panicking from Tom.
Sorry, but what is...
The important thing is that the babies are fine.
Does that mean you're not, though?
Turns out I've got something called gestational diabetes.
Diabetes?
It explains a lot about how I've been feeling, the tiredness, wanting to wee all the time.
I see.
It's something to take seriously, but not to get in a state about.
Yeah, I understand. Can they treat it?
It's down to me, actually. I need to control my sugar intake and monitor my blood sugar levels. If I can do that, I should be able to avoid any medication.
That doesn't sound too bad.
It isn't. But it does mean that when it's my turn to cook, I won't be making desserts anymore. I hope you understand.
Well, of course. That's fine, Natasha.
And sadly, I won't be eating any of your puddings either. For the foreseeable future, anyway.
Must have been a shock when they told you.
At the time, it was.
You seem very clear and calm about it now.
Honestly, Pat, I'm fine with it. There's nothing wrong with a bit of healthy eating, is there?
Of course not. And we'll do everything we can to support you.
I know I've got no right to be jealous.
I wouldn't say that.
I was the one who wanted out of the marriage. We're separated. Chris should be able to do what he wants.
In theory. When it's an ex, it doesn't always work like that in practice.
We were always so solid, Fallon. So to think of him now as someone else... Ugh.
Yeah.
With anyone would have been bad enough. But why did it have to be Amy? Of all people.
I know. It must make it 10 times worse.
Chris, I get that he's probably feeling lonely and confused. Maybe he needed a bit of comfort. But that wasn't true of Amy. She knew exactly what she was doing and she did it anyway.
Well, I don't think she was behaving rationally at the time. She was really surprised by how she felt.
I trusted her.
And I'm pretty sure they've pulled back, Alice. That's why Amy went to Nottingham after Martha's birthday. She wanted to get out of the way.
I know, she said.
She knows the effect it's had on you. She feels terrible about it.
Really?
She was worried it might start you drinking too.
Well, why did she do it then?
I know, I know. But she did confess when she didn't have to say anything at all.
Sometimes I wonder if I'd rather not have known.
There's something else. I don't know if you've heard, but Kate had a real go at her after church the other day.
At Amy?
And at Alan too. Harrison was there. He said it got really ugly. Kate and the vicar shouting the odds at each other, everyone standing around gobsmacked.
Oh, I don't need Kate to fight my battles.
Amy was obviously in bits about it.
Well, so she should be.
Alice, I understand why you hate her, hate what she's done anyway, but given that it happened, I really think she's tried her best not to hurt you anymore.
Glenda? Who'd have thought the mole was Glenda, eh?
Actually, I suspected her from the beginning.
She's always been a loose cannon.
It was her lack of remorse that was so galling. Happily admitting she's been talking to all and sundry about
what was it she called it, Martin? Justin's plan to run away screaming at the first sign of trouble.
Hysterical woman. If it were down to me, she'd be off the board.
Oh, steady now. Glenda's a risky woman to cross. Better to have her in the tents. Well, you know how the saying goes.
Well, at least she may not be my problem for much longer.
Come on, Justin, it was a fair fight.
We did say we'd review again in 3 months' time, remember?
Could take you that long to extract yourself.
You'd have to offer your shares to the other directors first.
There's no actual requirement to do that.
Well, you wouldn't just foist another major shareholder on us, surely. Anyway, there's no need for it to come to that. Can't we reach some kind of accommodation?
What sort of thing did you have in mind?
Well, I was wondering how you'd feel about taking back the role of chair.
What?
Chair of BL?
Yes.
Martin, you can't be serious.
I've been doing some research.
Yeah?
Gestational diabetes. Seems it's not that rare.
Really?
4 or 5 women in every 100.
I see.
Anyway, Natasha seems determined to get it under control.
Oh, yes. I've no doubt she'll do whatever's necessary.
And Tom says he's going to cut down his sugar intake too, in solidarity. That's good of him, isn't it?
It is. In fact, I was thinking we should do the same.
We should?
Yes.
You and me?
Starting today.
Pat?
I've got a chocolate pudding ready to go in the oven.
Oh, I saw it. Looks delicious.
I think I'll give it to Helen and the boys instead.
I was really looking forward to that.
Come on, Tony. It won't do us any harm to cut down a bit.
I cut down on sweet things hugely after my heart attack. You know I only ever have put in that special small bowl now.
It wouldn't be for long.
And I never have seconds. Can't we keep things as they are? Just don't be blatant about it.
What do you mean? Eat pudding in the shed? Or out in the field?
Why not? If it means I could still enjoy your apple crumble, I'd have me puds on Venus.
Oh, it's not like you to be so negative, Brian. Aren't you usually our can-do chap?
All I'm saying is we don't want to go back to the days of schism.
Oh, I don't remember them being that divisive.
Well, I appreciate the invitation, Martin.
And I doubt you'd get a majority anyway.
But I'm going to say thank you, but no. I'm perfectly happy for you to stay as chair. I've supped from that poison chalice quite enough.
All right. Just a thought.
However, there may be another way you could sweeten the Barrow Farm pill.
It's not a pill. It's a decision that's going to make us money in the long run.
Hang on. Go on, Justin.
It's connected with another local project.
In Borsetshire, you mean?
Well, perhaps we could chat through some options in the next few days.
Oh, absolutely, I'd be delighted. And in the meantime, Brian, will you communicate our decision to the workforce at Barrow?
Yes.
You'll be the bringer of glad tidings.
Hardly. And the place may not be closing. There'll still be a lot of pain to share around.